Hi, welcome back. We are at the end of February and it's time for TBR picks for March, which I am so excited about. I really enjoy picking my TBR for the month. Until January, I didn't have a TBR jar. I just played it by ear. I'm definitely not a mood reader, but I would choose my books that I was going to read. And it was great, and I hit my TBR every month. It was all good, there was no issues. Honestly, starting to use this TBR jar is one of the funniest parts of my month now. I just find it so exciting to match up the prompts to the books that I own. I also think that I am clearing my TBR so much quicker this way. I am reading books that I may not have picked up previously. They've all been books that I've been excited to read. That's why I own them. But other things have taken priority over them. I've completed series that I'd had hanging over my head for ages. I have read a couple of my sprayed edges that I wasn't getting around to reading before. Just overall, this TBR jar is transformative and I highly encourage everyone to do it. As usual, I'm going to pick 6 prompts out of my adorable little TBR jar. And then I have a couple of compulsory reads that I have to do for book clubs as well. So the first compulsory read is The Second Death of Locke by VL Bovolino, or she's also known as Tori Bovolino. This is the book club's pick because in April we are all meeting up in Manchester and going to Fiction Fest. And VL Bovolino is, I don't know if she's speaking there, but she's definitely an attending author. So we kind of collectively all agreed that our March book of the month should be a Fiction Fest author. And Second Death of Locke was one that I wanted to read. So I'm so excited that this got picked. This is literally, I think, the second time since I've been in this book club, which is coming on a year, that I have actively wanted to read the book of the month. And I'm so excited for it. And this version I've got is stunning because it's the Illumicrate one. Just this is absolutely one of my favourite editions that I've had since I signed up to Illumicrate. The naked hardback is it is beautiful. The foiling on it, and it just looks like such a sort of classic bookshelf staple that you'd find like an old library. I don't know if you can see on details, but it even looks like the leather's all creased. Just end papers. Ooh, there we are, that side. I'm honestly so excited to read it. So the blurb for it: Grey Flynn has dedicated her life to her mage, Keir. She will be his blade on the battlefield, his healer and protector. The deep well of raw power inside her is Keir's to use. Grey would do anything for Keir, be anything for him, if only he would ask. When a quest to protect the child of an enemy kingdom pulls them into the dangerous heart of their nation's war, Grey and Keir will need to decide what they are willing to sacrifice to protect their secret. For Grey is no ordinary magical well, but heir to the lost island of Locke, the roots of all power. If she dies, all magic dies with her. The Second Death of Locke is a devastatingly romantic, epic fantasy about the undying bond between a knight and their mage, perfect for fans of Gideon the Ninth and the Six Deaths of the Saints. It was the first Illumicrate box that I kind of had some awareness of the book before I got it, and I was so excited when it got announced as the Illumicrate book. I am fuming at myself that I haven't read this yet, but it does mean I get to read it now. So this is book number 1. So the second book that I have to read for book club is part of the travelling book club, and this month I will be reading Kate's pick, which is The Shield and the Axe by M.K. Robert. This is a Viking-inspired fantasy romance, and the description on Goodreads says, "Since the day I was born, my whole life has been decided for me. I'm nothing but a Saxon bargaining token, a political tool for my father. The Norsemen invaded our lands and burned villages to the ground, killing men, women, and children alike. My hand in marriage was in exchange for peace. However, the seemingly impossible choice of who to wed is mine to make. As my heart is torn between 2 men, an onset of attacks tear the village apart, causing discord and chaos amongst the ranks of those in power. To secure my safety amongst their people, I must make my choice. Will it be the charming but dangerous warrior, or the serious and loyal son of the Jarl? My life is turned upside down as my past and my future worlds collide." So this apparently has got a lot of trigger warnings. I think it's supposed to be quite spicy. And then there is also MFM and MMF content, which, I'll be honest, I've said it before, I do like a wide juice. Not usually something that I would pick to read, but I do kind of like Norse mythology and I like Vikings. So if they're done quite well in the book, I am actually quite excited to read that one. And then here is my TBR jar. It is an adorable little planter that I got from Etsy. The little book comes out and you can get different colour books to put in there. Then all these prompts. So the colour of the prompts don't mean anything. Like 6 prompts. Let's get into it. So prompt number 1. No, I don't want to. Lowest Goodreads rating on your TBR. Right. Although actually, right now that's fine because it will just go off kind of what's on my Kindle and what's in my physical because I do have it all listed on Goodreads. I panicked and thought it was going to be on my like want to read on Goodreads, and I've added some random stuff on that. I actually thought the other day I need to go and clear that out and make sure my sort of want to read on Goodreads is up to date. Physical TBR. Right, okay. So we've got 3.12 and that's Their Monstrous Hearts by Egit Turhan, possibly. Or, let's see what's on my Kindle. Oh wait, that was the right way. Or The Mysterious Society of Lady Scoundrels, but that does rate higher than the other one. So it's quite thin, quite small. This was actually a gift from, oh, I feel like the nails kind of match at the minute. This was actually a gift from Chloe, who selected part of my TBR last month. It's quite fitting that it's been picked this month. I've had it on my TBR for ages. So I don't actually really know what it's about. Haunting novel about the boundaries people will cross to keep their dreams alive. A mysterious stranger shows up at Ricardo's apartment with some news. His grandmother Perihan has died, and Ricardo has inherited her villa in Milan along with her famed butterfly collection. The butterflies pinned in their glass cases seem more ominous than artful. Perihan's group of mysterious old friends is constantly lurking, and there's something wrong in the greenhouse. As Ricardo explores the decrepit estate, he stumbles upon Perihan's diary, which might hold the key to her mysterious death, or at least give him the inspiration he needs to finish his manuscript. But he might not survive long enough to read it. So is it like a horror? I genuinely know nothing about this. A dazzling dark book that rides the lines of fantasy into a blood-soaked horror spectacle. Cheery. I mean, it seems quite small. It's 312 pages, and that is a big font. Like, that is option 1. Their Monstrous Hearts by Egit Turhan. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I apologise if I'm butchering it, but there's the first one. Pick number 2. A book that has an even number of pages. That is interesting because last month we got a book that has an odd number of pages. Right. Or like this because it kind of feels a bit like a free pick. Right, what have we got? What have we got that I want to read? Now, if I'm being sensible, what I should probably do is check the page counts of series that I'm in the middle of. So let me grab a couple and I'll be back. Okay, I've got a couple of physicals to look through, but I am also going to have a look on my Kindle. So we've got Sunbringer, which is the sequel to Godkiller, which was my TBC pick last cycle, and I really enjoyed it. A couple of people in the group did not enjoy it, but I had a good time. I really liked it. 367, so that one's out. We've got book 2 in the Mortal Instruments series, which is City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare. 415. And we have my stunning edition of Catabasis. Honestly, I think I want to be buried with this. It is one of my prized possessions, and I've been wanting to read it for ages, and I haven't. We have a couple of maps. 5 full 1. Right, so that was a wonderful idea, but it went horribly wrong. So Let's see page counts on my Kindle. Again, I'm going to look at continuing series if I've got any on here. Here we go. There are so many kind of start of series that I want to look at, but I really think I need to clear some of them off first. What about Legacy of Gods? Which one is God of Fury book 2? God of Pain, is that the one that I'd want? The page count it is, Kindle. 517. Dungeon Crawler Carl is one that I've been really wanting to read. That doesn't help me. It doesn't give me a page count, so thanks for that, Kindle. I'm trying to do this strategically, is that the word? Like, I don't want to start a massive series. Never keep the first one. Yes. 636 pages, and I've been wanting to read this for so long. I've read everything else in the Solaria universe, and I've also read Hollow by the Twisted Sisters. I haven't read any of their contemporary stuff, but I am thinking I might try and incorporate some of them this year. So for a book that has an even number of pages, I am going with Neverkeep by the Twisted Sisters. Oh, I'm so excited for this. Oh, I'm so excited. I love Solaria so much. Want to live there. The dragons are lost, the elements are at war, enlisting isn't optional, and I'm falling for a man who wants me dead. I'm a wielder of hearts and a summoner of corruption, heir to nothing and born to a fool in the wrong damn month. But I'm also one of only two fae in this divided land of Hellions who might be starting to see through the lies we swallowed for so long. In the year we turn 21, conscripts from across the warring nations of air, fire, earth and water are sent to Neverkeep, the only place in our besieged continent where our magic can be awakened. But something is wrong inside Neverkeep, something which might extend far beyond the reaches of this desolate fortress. Within the Gothic walls of this frigid castle in the snow, we're left to hold our own against the brutal fae from the opposing lands. The Reapers are merciless, the Royals are lying, the werewolves run rampant, and vampires roam the wastelands in bloodthirsty covens. But even though death lurks in every shadow of the keep, it's the least of my worries. I'm delving into secrets the stars don't want me uncovering, making alliances with fae born to be my enemy, falling for a sinner while promising my heart to a different heathen, and somewhere amid it all I'm supposed to win a war. I thought the only thing I had to do was survive my magical instruction. Turns out fate doesn't favour the wicked. This is an enemies to lovers romantasy series set in the same world as Zodiac Academy, but it's a dark and villainous tale of its own. You haven't met tainted sails like these before, or enemies that hate each other as deeply as these characters do. Book 1 in the series will leave your heart raw and bloody. You'll be left gasping for breath and aching for more of the twisted fae who lurk between the pages, and they might just be irredeemable. I'm so excited. Honestly, I devoured Zodiac Academy in about 5 weeks, I think. I read them all pretty much back to back. I firmly believe there are two types of people. There are Twisted Sister lovers and Twisted Sister haters. And I am firmly in the lover camp. I will eat up anything they write. I love their writing. I love the banter that they put on pages, and I hate the word banter, but I don't really know how else to describe it. I love the repartee between the characters. I just think they do an enemies to lovers really well. Like, their enemies are actual enemies. They're not just vaguely annoyed at each other. Like, they despise each other. And I also just think the world of Solaria is so nuanced and detailed and incredible. I've read Zodiac Academy, Dartmoor Penitentiary and Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac, which are all set in Solaria. This series, I believe, it is set in Solaria, but it's a different continent. So I believe there are little mentions of Tori and Darcy and little Easter egg type things, but it's not directly connected. But I have been wanting to pick it up for so long. So there is Neverkeep and I want to say Cindervale, but I think that's the third one that's going to be out this year. Yeah, so there is Neverkeep, then Echo 4, and then Cindervale is out later this year. So currently there's only 2 books, so I'll be starting a new series, but it's not a overpowering series. Time for book 3 on my TBR. And again, I think it might be upside down. Yep, every single time. A genre I don't usually read. See, this is why I love this TBR jar, because their Monstrous Hearts wouldn't have been picked. This prompt wouldn't have even entered my head. Let's see what else I've got. In fact, there's not going to be options. I know what I'm going to pick. I mean, there's mainly not going to be options because I don't really have things on my bookshelf that are genres that I wouldn't usually read. I would have to go back onto Kindle Unlimited. I would have to reach out to friends for recommendations, which I don't mind doing, but I have got this on my shelf. I've had it for a while. I've been meaning to read it. I, Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Harpman. Deep underground, 39 women live imprisoned in a cage. Watched over by guards, these women have no memory of how they got there, no notion of time, and only vague recollections of their lives before. A burn of electric light merges day into night, and numberless years pass. A young girl, the 40th prisoner, sits alone and outcast in the corner. But soon she will show herself to be the key to the others' escape and survival in this strange world that awaits them above. No, I've just thought, I do really want to read this, but I've got a feeling this might fall under like dystopian sci-fi, and I don't think that really counts as a new genre that I wouldn't usually read. Let me see what genre it falls under. Dystopian science fiction and speculative fiction. Kind of actually goes under quite a lot of genres that I would usually read. I am gonna have to go to the WhatsApp and I'm gonna go Emma. I'm having to text on my tablet because I'm filming on my phone. So I've texted Emma and asked her for a thriller because I famously don't really enjoy thrillers. I spend the whole time trying to get the plot twist. I get annoyed at any kind of plot holes that are there because they're set in real life, but then some things are just so unachievable or unrealistic and it winds me up. And I hold them to probably a much higher standard than I do fantasy. But Emma loves a thriller, so I'll leave that with her because I don't know what she's doing right now, but she's not replying to me. And we will come back to her. So, fourth prompt. A book with flowers on the cover. Don't actually know if I have any. Let's have a look. Do we think that count on Jasmine Throne? So that as a possibility. You can come with me. So we've got Jasmine Throne, which has got this, which I feel may count. Let's see. The Adventures of Amina Al-Safari, I think is more sea life. Yeah, that one doesn't work. City of Gods and Monsters is also a no. I do not want to start Mistborn yet. I mean, I don't think it would have one anyway, but I'm not even... Oh, that'd be quite an obvious option. To Bleed a Crystal Bloom. Let's see, have I got anything else that I fear may have flowers on the cover? Paladin's Grace. Oh, the Poet Empress. Right, let's talk and let's think. So, we've got our options. Let's go through them. First up, we have got Paladin's Grace by T. Kingfisher. It's a cosy fantasy featuring sock knitting paladins, badass perfumers, courtroom hijinks, and a heart racing romance. I really want to read this, and it's got these, I want to say the crocuses, but I know nothing about flowers, so I might have just made that up. But they've got these red ones in the vase on the cover, and there's also roses on the back, which I hadn't noticed. One of my friends read this last month and she said she enjoyed it, but she didn't rave about it. So don't know if I'm feeling this one. The Jasmine Throne, I mean, I think that's a flower, but it may just be a bit of a design. So have I sort of stretched it for this one? Potentially. So let's put that one to the side because I've got two that quite obviously do have flowers on. So I've got To Bleed a Crystal Bloom by Sarah A. Parker, which is, it's just stunning. And then The Poet Empress by Chantal, which, to be fair, I am so excited to read. It's an Illumicrate one, and again, it is stunning. So I'll read the blurbs and what they're about. To Bleed a Crystal Bloom is a Rapunzel retelling, I believe. It's a dark fantasy inspired by Rapunzel, full of immersive imagery and breathtaking angst. 19 years ago, I was plucked from the heart of a bloody massacre that spared nobody else, small, fragile, an enigma. Now ward to a powerful high master who knows too much and says too little, I lead a simple life. Never straying from the confines of an imaginary line I've drawn around the castle grounds. Stay within, never leave. Out there the monsters lurk. Inside, I'm safe, though at a cost far greater than the blood I drip into a goblet daily. Toxic, unreciprocated love for a man who's utterly unavailable. Oh, we've all been there, Rapunzel. My saviour, my protector, my almost executioner. I can't help but be enamoured with the arcane man who holds the power to pull my roots from the ground. When voracious beasts spill across the land and threaten to fray the fabric of my tailored existence, the petals of reality will peel back to reveal an ugly truth. But in a castle puddled with secrets, none are gracer than the one I've kept for myself. No tower is tall enough to protect me from the horror that tore my life to shreds. That does sound very interesting. And then The Poet Empress. House of the Azalea, where thorn meets bud. Brother betrays brother, blood forgets blood. Young rice farmer Ying Wei was forced to become a concubine to Prince Guanterin, a monstrous wielder of poetry magic and heir to the Azalea throne, to save her family from the famine blighting the land of Tenjia. Now confined to the imperial court, Terran's cruelty is not the only danger Wei faces. He and his honourable older brother are locked in a deadly succession war, while Terran's 30 concubines are fighting a war of their own for the position of future empress. To survive, Wei must harden her heart, rely on her wit, and become dangerous herself, even if it means learning the one forbidden poem that can kill Terran and save both herself and the nation. But there's a problem. For the spell to work against a man she hates, it must be written with love. I don't know. Right, so if we go off what I know about each book and who I know likes them, I know Jamie Fock read this towards the end of last year, I think, and has loved it. So that to me speaks volumes, because I think I seem to relate to her with kind of epic fantasy tastes. So that's definitely plus points for that one. To Bleed a Crystal Bloom, I know it's one of Laura's like God tier series. I also really love When the Moon Hatched, and I want to reread that this year before Ballad of Fallen Dragons comes out. And I do also have the second one of this on pre-order, which I think comes out in March or April. I think in order to not have full series or multiple books from a series on my bookshelf that I haven't read, going for this one would be the sensible choice. So for a book with flowers on the cover, we have got Bleed a Crystal Bloom by Sarah A. Parker. So we are on 1, 2, 3, 4 if Emma ever comes back to me, but she has not even read my message, which frankly is rude at this point. Prompt 5. An interconnected standalone. Okay. This feels like it might be a Kindle jobby, because I don't think I have any physicals that would fall under this. No, I haven't. So let's go to my Kindle. Got it. Got it. I know what I've got. I am going to go for God of Pain by Rena Kent. Again, I am just checking that this one was the second one. It was, wasn't it? People need to put numbers on covers. Like, why would you not? Book 2, yeah. So I'm going to go for an interconnected standalone. Book 2 in the Legacy of God series, God of Pain. So we read God of Malice as a book club pick last year. Didn't love it. But then they all went on offer on Kindle in December, and I was like, oh, do you know what? I may as well pick them all up, and then I can tick off the series at some point. And then last month, I loved Devil's Night series so much that I kind of am excited to read a bit of dark romance again. I know one of the books is an dark romance, and I do love an So, Creighton King is silent, brooding, and hostile. Still, Annika Volkov has a crush on him. What Annika doesn't realise is that behind Creighton's quiet beauty lies a dark and violent soul. She is everything he is not, bright, lively, and the heart of every party. Creighton knows he can never outrun his past, so he unleashes his pain on others. He never expected to be drawn to the girl who is his complete opposite. But as Annika tries to break through his walls, he finds himself captivated by her, especially after he uncovers her wilder side. Now that he's obsessed, she'll never escape him. Can Annika bring light to Creighton's darkness, or will he pull her into the shadows with him? This book is a dark, unconventional romance and contains themes that aren't to everyone's liking. So, and I know there is a whole, is it called the Renaverse, that so many people rave about? And again, it gets me further into a series that I've started and never moved on with. So yeah, an interconnected standalone, God of Pain by Rena Kent. I'm going to give Emma 5 minutes, and then I'm going to have to pick another prompt. So prompt 5 or prompt 6, depending on if Emma comes back to me. Oh, they're all sticking together. No, I think that's probably upside down. A book with a number in the title. I don't know if I've got anything that fits this. I'm fairly certain I don't on my physical TBR. No. Right, no. I definitely don't on physical. Let's check on my Kindle TBR. No, I don't have anything. So we're going to pick again. Oh, there's two. Oh, there's still two. A book with a 2-word title. Right. Whilst I'm on it then, I may as well look through my Kindle TBR. So I've got Savour It or Anxious People. Let me just check my physical. See if there's anything I'd want to pick up. So I do really want to read Void Walker, but I think Void Walker is done as 1 word, so that doesn't work out. Sure, if I'm feeling that. I do have Robin Hobb, The Assassin's Apprentice, but again, do I want to jump into a series? Am I better, again, trying to get my TBR down a little bit before I start a new series? I also have Poppy War, which I really want to read. I mean, Poppy War is part of a trilogy, so it's not the biggest series to start. The two that I have on my Kindle, Anxious People and Savour It, are not my usual type of thing. They're not ones that are completely out of my comfort zone, but Anxious People is kind of just general fiction, I think, and then Savour It is contemporary romance. So, and I have got quite a varied TBR, I feel, this month, so I'm going to stick to my blessed roots. I was going to go Poppy War and I can't because it's the Poppy War. It's not Poppy War. Oh my god, it's ruining my life. Okay, got it. Sorted. I'm going to go with Jade City by Fonda Lee. This is part of a trilogy. It's, I believe, an epic, sort of high fantasy that I have to be brutally honest. Until a couple of months ago when I saw quite a few people reading this, I thought it was a Wizard of Oz retelling and it put me right off it. It's not. It's just nothing to do with the Wizard of Oz. I first saw it in bookshops the same sort of time that Wicked came out, and I think I just assumed. But you know what they say about assuming. So, Jade City. For centuries, honourable Greenbone warriors have used magical jade to enhance their abilities and defend the island of Kekon from foreign invasion. Now the war is over and a new generation vies for control of Kekon's bustling capital city. 4 siblings of the powerful Cowl family must prepare for battle, and the fragile peace between the clans is about to break. It's the first novel in the Greenbone saga, a modern fantasy classic and word-of-mouth sensation set in an Asian-inspired metropolis. I've read the Drowned Empire series this month, which again is kind of Asian-inspired, and I've loved it. And again, I wanted to read The Poet Empress and I wanted to read Poppy War, so I do really enjoy Asian-inspired fantasies. The other reason I've picked this one is I do also have it on my Kindle, so it's easier for me to read. I've got all 3 of them, I think, on my Kindle as well. So there's Jade City, Jade War, and Jade Legacy. It is a urban fantasy, I believe, and it is supposed to be so good. I've watched Freya's vlogs of her reading this and just how much she loved it. So I'm excited to crash out about this series, to be honest. And whilst I've been chatting on about this one, I think Emma has finally replied. So let's see. Yay, I've never been so happy. The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides is a good one. Let's see if this is on KU. It is not, so try this again. Because the one she sent me isn't on KU, and I'm not paying for a thriller when my current mentality is I don't like them. So let's wait another 3 to 5 business days for Emma to reply. Okay, she's reappeared. And she has gone with That's Not My Name by Megan Lally. So let's find that one. We can see what that's about. It's a #1 bestseller apparently in teen and young adult fiction on dating and sex. So, seems interesting. She thought she had her life back. She was wrong. A gripping debut thriller perfect for fans of Natalie D. Richards and Vincent Ralph. I don't know who either of those are. She thought she had her life back. She was wrong. It was a mistake to trust him. Shivering and bruised, a teen wakes up on the side of a dirt road with no memory of how she got there or who she is. A passing officer takes her to the police station, and not long after, a frantic man arrives. He's been searching for her for hours. He has her school ID, her birth certificate, and even family photos. He is her father, her name is Mary, or so he says. When Lola slammed the car door and stormed off into the night, Drew thought they just needed some time to cool off. except Lola disappeared, and the sheriff, his friends, and the whole town are convinced Drew murdered his girlfriend. Forget proving his innocence, he needs to find her before it's too late. The longer Lola is missing, the fewer leads there are to follow, and the more danger they are both in. So I'm guessing it follows both these characters, or is Mary Lola? And do we know that from the start? If that's the twist, I'm genuinely never reading a thriller ever again. Can't be the twist, surely that's way too obvious. I'm not completely on board with her name being Lola, because all I can hear is that meme, which I'm going to insert a clip because I'm not going to do an impression of it.
Like that? Poof! Lola's gone.
Wrong. Lola's right here, you fucking Brussels sprout.
However, it's got high ratings, 300 pages, so it'll be a quick read. And I am going to be open-minded. It's a genre I don't usually read. It may become my new favourite. Maybe, possibly. Anyway, so this is the stack of what I have so far. There will then be 3 Kindle reads, and there is also my TBC books arrive. I think it's a good mix of Kindle and physical this month. So we have got Jade City by Fonda Lee. We have got To Bleed a Crystal Bloom by Sarah A. Parker. Their Monstrous Hearts by Iga Turhan. I cannot say that name, I'm sorry, I know I'm butchering it. And The Second Death of Locke by V.L. Bovalino for my physical reads. And then Kindle-wise, we have got Never Keep by the Twisted Sisters. We have got That's Not My Name by Megan Lully. And we have got God of Pain by Rena Kent. And there we have it. My March TBR, all sorted. I cannot wait to tell you about them. I just, honestly, keep saying it, but using this TBR jar has expanded my reads every month, and I love it. I'm not just reading the kind of the viral books that you feel like you have to read. I'm actually picking out books that are genuinely interesting to me, and I'm really, really loving that. So if you have got this far, thank you so much for sticking around. I would love it if you could like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. Tell me what you plan on reading in March, or if you have nothing to say or you don't kind of set yourself a formal TBR, then maybe leave me a butterfly emoji for Their Monstrous Hearts. And I will speak to you soon. Bye.